Ross, big homie. First of all, you know it love. Second of all, I got to call a spade when it's a spade. You say you did it for free. Everybody do it for free, Ross.
The internet is going wild because of a video that is getting shared everywhere. The video shows a comedian named DC Young Fly making jokes about a famous rapper named Rick Ross. He did this in front of a big crowd of people. Everyone online is having a huge reaction to the video. At first, it just seemed like a funny part of a comedy show. But it turned into a massive moment on the internet. In the video, Rick Ross looks like he does not feel good about what is happening. Meanwhile, the fans in the crowd are laughing and yelling.
Now, that wasn't the biggest moment. Now, that's one of the viral moments, but Boosie episode 8 million. Got Country Wayne, shit like 6-7 million. Like, we do numbers, we do analytics. Our analytics, we was the biggest before you came, and we was the biggest afterwards. So you always got room to come back to be on the biggest podcast in the world, correct? You dig what I'm saying? But when you call a spade a spade.
The video has been watched millions of times on many different apps and websites. In the clip, DC Young Fly makes fun of the famous rapper and his timing is perfect. He tells jokes about how Rick Ross spends a lot of money, how he acts like he is as important as a king, and even about his older music. The crowd loved it, and their loud cheering made the whole thing feel even bigger. By the time DC was done, it was clear this was not just a normal comedy bit. It felt like a direct and personal attack. This all went down at a live show where both men were present. DC Young Fly was the person hosting the show, and Rick Ross was a special guest who showed up without people knowing he would be there. At the beginning, the mood was fun and happy. Rick Ross walked in wearing one of his famous big fur coats, huge gold chains, and shiny sunglasses. The crowd was screaming for him, but DC, who is famous for his very fast and sharp jokes, saw a perfect chance to be funny.
But you didn't eat it. And we respect when shit to do, bro. Just tell us as soon as you come in, hey, little homies, I got an hour. Bet, we gonna try to get you in. Man, we gonna try to get you in about 45 minutes so you can make it to your next destination. Don't pull up, act like you doing us a favor, and then just leave her without saying something. Just say something so we can know what's going on, gang. We ain't tripping. We'll push back up. Your team, we called your team. We called the person who we called when you was on the way. Guess what they said? We don't know where.
Ross looked like he just came from the zoo and forgot to leave the lion behind, DC joked. This first joke started what would become a very harsh series of jokes. The crowd burst out laughing, but Rick Ross did not laugh. He just gave a small, tight smile that showed he was not really enjoying the joke. As the crowd kept laughing, DC decided to go even further. He started making fun of Ross's habit of spending tons of money, saying, every time Ross talks, it sounds like he just finished eating money. The crowd went crazy. People held up their phones to record, everyone was screaming, and even other people on the stage were trying hard not to laugh. The thing that made the moment spread so fast online was Rick Ross's reaction. Instead of laughing along like most people do, he seemed genuinely upset. He tried to act like it did not bother him, taking a drink from his glass and saying something quiet. But DC saw this and fired back right away. Don't get quiet now, big homie. We just having fun. You rich, remember?
Okay, I'm gonna say first of all, I don't give a
Yeah, I get it.
but I give a because
Try to make it bad.
with you as a person.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before, okay, let's just say before all that happened, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say before all that happened. Bro, I'm listening to you, Ross.
Yeah.
I feel like you wanted to.
Hey!
Shut the up. I'm listening to you, Ross. I feel like you probably one of the best lyricists from the South that we got. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you poetic, bro. When I listen to your music, I think you put a lot of time and effort into this.
After that, the feeling in the room changed. What started as playful jokes began to feel more like a serious roast with a mean edge. DC started talking about some of Rick Ross's past problems without saying exactly what they were. He made clever comments about Ross not always being himself, about problems with his music company, and about talking a big game without much to back it up. These jokes were powerful because fans knew what he was talking about. It wasn't just about his music or his things. DC was touching on many years of people making fun of Ross for not being real and for having a big ego. The audience loved it, cheering for every joke while Ross just sat there, trying to look like he was okay.
One time, and I'm gonna take this jacket off.
Man,
Let's do it. Yeah, you can't.
Man, stay tuned.
You can't take your foot off for nothing.
all gas.
Oh, I'm talking about for life. Darn, you know what I'm saying? You know, so it's just.
But then you drink.
We could have those debates. We really could.
Teflon was off the chain.
I mean,
You know what I'm
and
saying?
I like the way you
Different
followed up
times.
hustling with pushing it. Like, how did you know to come right back on their
You got to.
Right.
Man, just don't take the foot off the gas.
Some fans are saying this moment was like those famous roast battles you see on TV, but with real, tense feelings under the laughter. In just a few hours, the video was all over every big platform like TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Fans were looking at every single second of the video. Hashtags like hashtag Ross got roasted and hashtag DCVSRoss became very popular. Some fans said that Rick Ross did not handle it well and that he should have just laughed with everyone. Other people said that DC went too far, saying that comedians can sometimes be too mean when they see someone who is uncomfortable. But no matter what side people were on, everyone agreed on one thing: DC Young Fly was completely in control of that moment. It wasn't just a simple roast. It was a public lesson that being funny and having a great personality can be more powerful than being rich and important in a single moment. What makes this whole thing even more interesting is the relationship between the two men. DC Young Fly and Rick Ross know each other. They have met each other before at different events and interviews. There was even a time when they seemed to respect each other, but this roast showed that there might have been some bad feelings between them building up for years.
Be mindful. You may never know who knows somebody, who kin to somebody, who saw what you posted. Because you're going to have to stand on business.
Look, bro, listen, man. I came to your podcast. I came for free, homie, no charge. I did it on Face, homie. I didn't ask you what your analytics was and this and that. I came on Face, homie, to show love. And don't make it like I walked off on you. I left early. Rose had some other things to do too. But guess what? I came for free.
People who were at the event said that Rick Ross came in acting like he was the most important person there, trying to make the event all about him. They said that before the cameras were on, Ross made some quiet, mean comments about DC, bragging about being the ultimate boss and saying he was the reason many younger artists make money today. DC, being the person he is, was not going to let that happen without a response. So when the microphones were on and everyone was watching, he took the chance to turn the energy back to himself. People who know how DC does comedy understand that he doesn't do anything by accident. He watches the room, feels out people's egos, and then jokes about their weak points. So when Rick Ross started showing off, DC did what he is best at. He reminded everyone that you can't just demand respect, you have to earn it. As he kept roasting him, he said things to Rick Ross that cut right through his flashy image. You got 20 cars, but you still mad. How you own all that land and still ain't found?
Diddy's and Ross, which they good buddies, okay? They gay. Both. Diddy and Ross.
That line hit the audience like a powerful statement mixed with a joke. The crowd screamed and cheered. Even people who were fans of Rick Ross had to admit that the joke had some truth in it. Rick Ross, however, did not handle it well. You could tell just by looking at his body. He had his arms crossed, he had a tight, forced smile, and you could see him change from being confident to being very annoyed. At one point, he even leaned over to say something to one of his friends, which fans online later joked was him asking for a way to get out of there. The video caught that exact moment, and people on the internet have slowed it down and turned it into a funny meme. Some fans think that Rick Ross might not have realized how sharp and quick DC's humor is, thinking he could just be charming like he is in interviews. Instead, he walked right into a verbal trap. After the show was over, people who were there said that Rick Ross left the building quickly and quietly. He didn't stop to take pictures or go to the party afterward. This just made people online talk even more, with many saying that his feelings were probably hurt. DC, on the other hand, didn't slow down at all. He later posted a short video thanking his fans for their support and joking, "Ain't nobody safe, not even the bosses." Fans saw this as proof that the roast wasn't just for laughs. It was DC making a point.
Ross, big homie. First of all, you know it love. Second of all, I got to call a spade when it's a spade. You say you did it for free. Everybody do it for free, Ross. You ain't the only nigga who did it for free. T.I. do it for free. Busta Rhymes did it for free. Snoop Dogg did it for free. Everybody who sat on that couch.
DC had stood up to one of hip-hop's most confident and famous people and had clearly won. The internet has had many different reactions, but they are all strong. People who love comedy are praising DC for keeping it real. They say it is not often that you see someone challenge a huge star like Rick Ross on stage and win. Hip-hop fans are split. Some say Ross should have just laughed and acted cool, while others feel that DC was disrespectful to a music legend. But one thing is for sure, the viral video has shown everyone how close confidence is to insecurity. When a comedian with raw talent and energy meets a rapper with a huge ego, something big is going to happen. This time, DC was the winner. Another thing that makes this big argument more interesting is how the public has seen Rick Ross over the years. For a long time, Ross has built an image of being a huge, powerful boss who everyone should respect and who is on another level compared to other artists. But behind that image, there is a long story of people wondering if he is being real. From when people found out he used to be a prison guard to the constant jokes about the big stories in his songs that might be exaggerated, Ross has always had to deal with people who say his image is not the truth. DC Young Fly, whether he meant to or not, tapped right into that weak spot during the roast. Every joke about Ross's ego, his money, or the things that didn't make sense hit harder because those are the same things people have been talking about for years. At one point during the roast, DC reportedly joked, "You've been calling yourself the biggest boss since 2006, but you still arguing with everybody smaller than you."
You lead our show. You went and did a podcast. A white podcast. You sat your ass right there for almost 2 hours.
And didn't leave.
And you talked. And the white folk asked your ass, was you a correctional officer?
Yeah.
We would have never asked you no shit like that, nigga, 'cause we got respect for you.
Right.
And you sat right there and you answered that question so eloquently,
Right.
eloquently.
Eloquently, right.
You dig what I'm saying?
The crowd went wild. That one joke said exactly what many people have always thought about Rick Ross. He tries to act like a powerful boss, but he's always trying to prove himself. It was a funny joke, but it was also true. And for Ross, who always tries to act cool and in control, hearing the truth really seemed to hurt his pride. Some fans think that's why he looked so upset, because DC wasn't just being funny, he was pointing out Ross's weaknesses. Since then, the video has been everywhere online. People have made memes of Rick Ross's uncomfortable face, with captions like "When the boss gets bossed." The clip has been turned into challenges and remixes. Even other famous people are talking about it. Some are laughing, while others think DC was too mean. But the video has definitely made everyone talk about Rick Ross's image again. Is he really the untouchable boss he says he is? Meanwhile, DC Young Fly is enjoying all the attention. He is known for his fearless and fast comedy. People respect him because he isn't afraid to joke about powerful people. His jokes work because they are based on things everyone can see are true. This whole situation has also started a bigger talk about comedians and rappers. Rap culture is all about pride, while comedy is about being honest and sometimes vulnerable. When these two worlds crash into each other, it can be very entertaining, but also a little awkward. In the days after the roast, both men have been quiet. Rick Ross posted some pictures of his expensive cars and house, maybe to remind everyone he is still rich. But fans filled his comments with jokes from DC's roast. DC, on the other hand, has kept making jokes about it. At a recent show, he said, "I didn't even mean to roast Ross that bad, but when you see a lion in silk pajamas, you got to say something. This moment shows how entertainment has changed. In the past, famous rappers seemed untouchable. But now, because of the internet and social media, one funny moment can change how people see a star. DC Young Fly didn't just make fun of Rick Ross. He showed that being real and funny is more powerful than just having a big ego. Ross might have a lot of money, but that night, DC had the microphone. And the person with the microphone is the one who wins the crowd. So, what do you think about all of this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you're loving the tea we're spilling, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends. I'll see you on the next one, because trust me, the next video is going to be a real jaw dropper and it's already loading.